Rolling with the triple C, I'ma make him bend the knee. Rolling with the triple C, don't really count the heat.
So TJ Dillashaw retires. I was probably one of the first people to find out because my producer, Michael Wanzo, was the first person who actually delivered the news. I'm still trying to figure out who is it that's telling Michael Wanzo all this information, because he was right. TJ Dillashaw did retire. But that being said, is TJ Dillashaw really retired? The first thing that comes to mind was, which I don't think is dumb enough to do that, is maybe he got busted again, and maybe he says, you know what, this is it. But I don't think that's the case. I think what was more the case is I think TJ Dillashaw is getting surgery again, which I believe that's true, and I don't think he wants USADA knocking on that door every other week. Guys, it gets annoying. As much as I love USADA, I've been tested with USADA. You know, I was talking to Jeff Nowitzki yesterday, and you know, I got my 50 tests through USADA, and he was wondering, how many tests do you have, Henry, from wrestling? I'm just like, I don't know, maybe somewhere between 40 or 50. I mean, it's a lot of tests, guys. I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort and time away from your family. So me automatically thinking TJ Dillashaw's retiring, no, I think it's just a thing just to kind of get people out there. I think it's just for him to not really get tested by USADA. Guys, it gets annoying. And I guarantee you, with TJ Dillashaw, they're probably doing, you know, they're probably taking blood every single time, and that stuff is just not cool. You imagine somebody poking a needle in you every single week at 6, at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, do I believe the retirement? I believe he's out, but I believe when he's starting to get ready to come back in, to come back in this thing, I think he's going to put his name back in the hat. So, is the retirement real? I mean, did he put in his pink slip to retire? Yes. But is his retirement real? Guys, I'm about to say no. I think, you know, TJ really, and you know, this may be a little off topic here, but he's older now. He cannot be trained how he used to train back when he was at Alpha Male. You can't do those crazy rounds. You can't spar like crazy no more. Like TJ, you got to be more tactical. There's a reason why your body's breaking. You know what I'm saying? You edify your coach Kavanaugh, but maybe even some of that strength and conditioning is probably affecting you. You see, strength and conditioning for MMA should just be to stimulate. And that's something that I learned like recently too. And it makes a whole lot of sense. If you're able to just stimulate the body, keep the body healthy, the conditioning will come in the MMA sparring, in the wrestling goes, in the situation goes. Anyways, that being said, I don't buy it at all. I can see him coming back middle part to late part of next year.
Ian, there's been a lot of discussion of where does TJ Dillashaw rank all time among UFC bantamweights? Of course, we know he had the 2-year suspension from USADA, but where do you rank him just looking in the history of the UFC bantamweight division, even despite, you know, that suspension he had? Where do you put him?
I want to say he has more defenses than Dominic Cruz. I don't know. I think it's hard for me to even answer that question, but he is one of the greatest bantamweights of all time, you know. But I just think that asterisk of him, like, now you start to wonder if this dude was always fair, if he was always playing honest. I think that's the biggest thing. But I don't know. It's hard for me to compliment TJ, especially when he only lasted 32 seconds with me. I'm not sure how to answer that, Michael, and I'm not sure if I can even be truthful on this one, because I just don't have the desire to even answer that.
Yeah, and just did this bring back some memories of your fight with him? It was very, very interesting that when you fought him, obviously he was the bantamweight champion. He went down to 125, and for whatever reason, this started kind of the end of his career, at least the career as we see it right now. It started this last chapter. How do you think you played a role in that, in kind of what ended up being a downturn of his career?
Well, I mean, I played the role in knocking him out, but I think he played the biggest role, and it's himself. It was the fact that he was willing to inject, an illegal substance to his body. You know, you imagine how shitty somebody must feel to be able to get caught. Like even for me, like when TJ first got caught, you know, with EPO, I was just like, I felt like dirty. Like I felt like it just didn't feel right that whole day. I just felt just dirty, just you know what I'm saying? Like you know how sometimes when you're to yourself, like you just don't feel right. And that probably lasted for like a few days. Cause I'm just like, man, this guy wasn't. He wasn't willing to play fair. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't able to. He was trying to take that even playing field and lopside it and tilt it. You know what I'm saying? I just think that was just really shady and shitty on his part. But at the end of the day, he has to live with it. You know, thank God that he didn't even touch me. But you imagine a lot of those fighters who had lost to guys who were on illegal substances, and you start to wonder how far these guys were willing to take something where how far you willing to take the game. You know, we're all willing to win, but to what expense? And I just think that's one thing that I don't think we'll probably ever reconcile with TJ. I mean, I don't know. That's a tricky question, but I truly don't believe TJ is on the juice now. I wouldn't be surprised if he got caught with it, but I just don't think he would be dumb enough this time around to eventually do it again. I think he just wants a break from USADA, and we'll see him sometime late next year.
Yeah, and just to read off some of his where he ranks in the bantamweight division, just to give you some context. He's second in UFC history in the bantamweight division in total fight time, only behind Uriah Faber. He's first in title fight wins with 5, and Dominic Cruz is second with 4. So you actually fought the 1 and 2 in that division. He's first in bonuses in the bantamweight division. He's all over the place in terms of the records. He has the most KO TKO wins in bantamweight history at 7. So are you able to separate his USADA suspension or does that kind of undo those accomplishments for you in the bantamweight division?
No, I think when you mention it like that, because I think everything's based off of numbers. Maybe it is TJ.
Yeah, I will say most wins ever. He's also tied with Aljo right now, which is interesting. They're both tied at 13.
13 wins at the
In the bantamweight division.
Yeah. No, I mean TJ's inspired a lot of people. I think at the end of the day, I mean, I think he shitted on himself, but when it comes down to the numbers like that, it's just hard for me to kind of grasp or even swallow it. Maybe he is the greatest bantamweight of all time. Just maybe. But doesn't mean he's the best. You know what I'm saying? Like me being in there with these guys, I mean, it's just, I guess numbers do talk. So thank you for trying to get it out of me, Michael Wansover. I appreciate that. Maybe it is TJ Dillashaw, just maybe.
Yeah, and last thing, do you think a little bit, you already have been giving Aljo a little bit of crap for his win over TJ. Do you think even more so now? It's like he fought a guy where we know he was injured, and now you see how serious this injury is. So how does it make you look at that win that Aljo had now?
I just think it's nothing that Aljo really did. Where I do have a problem with Aljamain is the fact that he's trying to, take his 6 months off and, start his rap career. But other than that, I don't think, Aljamain beat a dude with one shoulder who's recently retired, who maybe had that plan. Maybe he was like, hey, you know what? I'm going for broke. I'm going for broke here, and this is what I'm going to end up doing. And, it is what it is. So thank you guys again for watching. It means a lot to me. So you guys remember, there's more breakdowns, there's more technique, there's more tactics, and there's definitely more cringe. So make sure to subscribe and click on that button. I'm out!